Hi Sunshine Sparkle Faces, it's me, Mother Sparkles. Alright, so I'm going to jump right into the video because I think it might take a while. I made a video about this whole situation, this whole incident before, but ever since then I've gained so many supporters, so I think I want to reshare this story and I guess some updates about the whole incident. Your poor Mother Sparkles was robbed, and now I'm not making the story up. There were some comments saying, you know, I'm making the story up. I'm not, okay? This really happened. Ask my family members, this really happened to me, and I've been traumatized ever since then. No joke. I still have nightmares of people breaking into my home, and I don't know. So I'm gonna give you guys the rundown of what happened. Honestly, I'm just gonna say this right now. I think the intruders knew everything from the inside out. The person who, you know, got into my home, stole all my stuff, knew who we were. I feel like it was like an inside job. I feel like the person has been in our home and has mapped out everything. All the exits, the windows, the locks, everything, okay? We had some really crazy locks that was really hard to figure out. Like if you never came to my house and you want to be able to figure the locks out, it's like, it's really weird. Like you wouldn't be able to figure it out. But these people managed to like get them open right away. But anyways, I was on the first level sleeping, and I believe it was around like 1:30 at nighttime, and I remember clearly that that night I had an allergic reaction, and I took these pills that made me very drowsy. Alright, so I was sleeping in my room, and oh god, I'm like shaking talking about this, it's really scary. I was sleeping, and then all of a sudden the door opened, and I was so sleepy, I didn't really care for it. I like opened my eyes a little bit, and I saw a head that just popped in, and they closed the door right away. It was like 1 second. I was like, okay, maybe it's my brother's friend. Maybe he went to the wrong room. Maybe he was going to the washroom, whatever. 2 seconds later, bam, the door busts open. 4 guys got into my room, in which 2 of them got on the bed with a hammer and another weapon. It might have been a gun, I don't remember, but they pointed to my head. I was so scared. But they pointed the weapons to my head and they said, "Where's your money? Where's the money? Where is money?" And I didn't know what to say. Like, I didn't have cash on me. I had like purses, I had like jewelry. I'm like, my purse is over there. You can check, you can check. Like, I don't have anything. So 4 guys went into my room, and they told me to get off the bed, and then 2 of them escorted me to the washroom. Remember, this is the first level of my home, and there was a window, and I don't know what was going on through my head. I think adrenaline kicked in, and I knew what was happening, and I just freaked out. I don't remember how I felt in the moment. I just remember that I ran and I jumped onto the toilet and then jumped out of the window. It sounds crazy, but that happened. I jumped out the window and landed on the ground. It was just the first level, so I didn't jump like 2 stories high. I fell, and I still have a scar on my hand. It's like a little scar here when I fell, and the gravel just like scraped my hand. And then I ran next door screaming at like 2 a.m. in the morning, and it was just crazy. I like knocked on my neighbor's door. I'm like, help, 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 call 911. And then I don't know what was going on in the house. I'm assuming that they left. And then another neighbor came out. She's like, what's going on? What's going on? I heard that. And then they came out, and these guys just booked it. They just ran on feet. They were like taking items. And it's funny because, you know, I asked my mom like what happened, and she's like, we thought like they kidnapped you. We were crying. We were calling your name, but we couldn't find you. But really, I was like next door, like calling for help. But my dad and my mom saw the people. They looked young. They stole all my purses. All right. They stole all my jewelry, and they stole like a couple things from our house. They stole like the BMW car keys, which was very scary because it was an expensive car. So my mom was like, oh god, we need our key back. But we had a spare. So that's what happened. And we called the police, we made a report. It was very traumatizing. We couldn't sleep that night. since this has happened to me so many times already, and I was just so scared. And so the next day, people came to fingerprint the windows and the doorknobs and everything. And then like months later, the report came back and the fingerprints matched with someone by the name of Tony Huang. All right, and that's a Vietnamese name or Chinese. But like months and months later, you know, they got him into court and he pleaded guilty, and I don't know what happened with the case ever since. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to, you know, hear about it. I'm just done and over it. And till this day, I think it was a targeted home invasion. I think they knew that I was Julie and I, you know, have expensive things, and I think they followed me home. And I lived in a very small city where everyone knew where everyone lived. And so from that day on, I have moved out for the safety of my family. I don't know, I think it's mainly my fault for causing this to the home and to the family. I draw so much attention, and I think it's good that I've moved out now and I've like kept them in peace. That's why I don't really want to make videos with my little sisters, because you know, people will recognize them and people will, you know, follow them home and stuff, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm glad that I'm not really like living at home anymore. It's a good thing, trust me. So it gets better, okay? So I went on Craigslist to look for my missing purses because, I don't know, people steal stuff to sell stuff. So my immediate reaction was go on Craigslist, search for my purses. One of the purse that was missing was my Chanel wallet on a chain, okay? This is a $2,000 bag, and you know your purse. You know like all the gimmicks of your purse. You know the scratches, the dents, and you know how things work about your purse. So basically, I found out about this ad, and it looked like my purse, and they were selling it as a wallet on a chain. Everything, the details, it was gold hardware with lambskin and everything. And basically I made 2 fake emails, one pretending to be a girl and one pretending to be a boy, giving different offers for this bag. One was the full price, which the person did not take, and one was a more reasonable price, which they took. And I believe he didn't answer to the boy, but he answered to the girl. So I asked them to meet me at a mall, Metrotown Mall, at like 6 p.m. on a Wednesday, I believe, or something. And I was really nervous. I didn't know if I should call the police or not. I didn't know if I should call mall security. It was probably dangerous. He could have stabbed me. He could have killed me. I don't know. But I met up with this person by Superstore, and it was like a Chinese person. He was Chinese, and we asked to meet at like one of the directory boards, and I saw him coming from the Superstore entrance. He looked at me and he stopped right away and he tried to turn around. That time, by then I ran up to him like, can I see the purse? He hands me the purse. I look at it, I'm like, this is my purse. Okay, people might be asking, how do you know it's your purse? I know my purse. I know, you know, the dents and scratches. I know my purse when I know it. You just know. So I look in it, you know, the zipper was a little bit flimsy. Same area. There was a scratch, there was a dent. I also had the authenticity card with me. It wasn't in the purse, but it was with me. And it matched the same code that was on the purse. It was my purse. All right, so I grabbed it. I'm like, where'd you get this purse? And he's like, Surrey? I'm like, where in Surrey? Like, this is my purse. This is a stolen property. This is mine. And then he's like, no, it's not. It's not. You're crazy. So he steps back without the purse. I'm holding the purse because I wasn't going to give it up, honey, okay? So he walks out the door a little bit. He gets on the phone. He's like, he was talking about something I don't remember. And then all of a sudden he just runs. He just booked it. Whew, I can't believe I did that, but I did. I didn't know. I was just like, this is my baby and I want my baby back, right? So I got my baby back. I don't have the purse anymore. I sold it. I don't know. I had like a purse recession. I just gave up for a while and I'm like, ugh. So now I'm like slowly recollecting purses and shoes and stuff, but yeah. Where I live now, we have like lots of security, cameras, locks, everything. So I feel safe where I am. Yeah. That is all. I just wanted to share that story with you guys because a lot of people wanted to hear about the time I lost all my purses and stuff. So there you go. There you have it. Honestly though, I feel bad for people who have to steal people's stuff. Like, it's not cool. Alright? I don't understand what's wrong with people these days. They're just, I feel bad for them, you know? I work hard for my money. And I think, you know, these people who go around and they don't have jobs and all they do is steal people's stuff and sell it for money. Like, I feel bad for you, okay? Hashtag winning. Bye.